everybody. Welcome to another installment of ActionFeatures.net Comics Weekend Review. That's what we're going to call it now. This week we'll be covering all the releases that we've checked out from January 16th, 2013. We're just going to run right into it. Ready?
I have read one comic.
You read one comic this week.
Woohoo!
That's pretty good. It's better than no comics like last week.
Yeah.
Alright, first of all, we got to play catch up, actually. This is from January 9th, 2013.
Is that issue 1?
No, this is Avengers Arena number 3.
Oh.
I forgot to pick this up at the shop on January 9th, remember?
I was the one that reminded you.
Yeah. Avengers Arena is a book that's kind of like a Hunger Games / Lord of the Flies type situation.
Lord of the Flies?
It's a book. You'll have to read it sometime. Where Arcade, an old XMen villain who's kind of a joke for the longest time, has kidnapped a bunch of younger superheroes, like 16 of them, I think. He's put them in a place called Murder World. And basically what he's saying, only one is going to get out alive. You guys are going to have to kind of kill each other off over time. And whoever wins, that's my game. I just want to see which one of you survives. And so far we're on issue 3. It's a pretty... You okay over there?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a pretty decent book so far. It's very interesting, this storyline. It's written by Dennis Hopeless with art by Kev Walker, it looks like, on this issue. And I'm pretty sure it's been the same artist throughout. I don't know a lot of these characters, but what kind of is neat as it's going along, like the first issue kind of introduces one character and the whole kind of plot line, and that's where the first character gets killed off. The second issue, I believe another character dies in the second issue, but I can't remember for sure. That introduces Death Locket, who's like Harlan Riker's daughter, and she's like a female Deathlock. And in this issue, we find out more about a character named Cammy, who was apparently a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy at some point, I guess. And Darkhawk shows up. And I'm not going to spoil anything in this book, but it's an interesting storyline, and it kind of plays off that whole teenagers surviving each other like in the Hunger Games.
Right.
And that's obviously where they're going with.
I wish before they started this whole Spider-Man thing, they would have done Spider-Man and that before they started this whole Doc.
Oh, well, Spidey would have definitely survived.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
That would have been a gimme.
It'd be too predictable, though.
It would have been too predictable. All new X-Men number 6 by Brian Michael Bendis with art by Marquez. I don't know what the first name is on that. Great art, though, whoever this guy is. Okay, so this storyline is spitting out of Avengers vs. X-Men. And this is one of the Marvel Now books that you really should read, Avengers vs. X-Men, those 12 issues, before you read these books, because it kind of explains where Cyclops is at. And I'm kind of going to have some spoil... Oh, you finished Avengers vs. X-Men?
Yeah, I finished it in September.
Oh, cool. I kind of have to spoil something. In that storyline... Don't do that, please. Okay. They have the Cyclops and Magneto and Colossus and all these characters have kind of fought against the Avengers, and Cyclops kind of went mad with the Phoenix power, and in the end he ends up killing Professor X, and he's branded an outlaw, and now he's on another X-Men team that consists of him and Magneto and White Queen and all these characters.
Right.
And they're a mutant kind of like guerrilla tactics, they're a liberation type thing, where they're gathering up mutants almost for like a war type thing.
Avengers vs. X-Men, what was it? Avengers vs. X-Men, where they just kind of fought each other with words?
Versus? Wait.
Avengers.
With words?
Yeah. Cyclops and Cap had a fight just with kind of like...
Oh, that was in Versus? Yeah. That was pretty funny. So, in this book, Beast has come up, Beast is dying at the beginning of it, and he's come up with this idea, thanks to Bobby mentioning something, I wish we could have Cyclops talk to himself. Yeah, Iceman. I wish we could have our young Cyclops talk to the old Cyclops and kind of set him straight. And so Beast goes, you know what? I'm just going to go back in time and get the original X-Men. And you think that this concept would kind of not work, especially with Brian Michael Bendis writing. I didn't think I would enjoy this because I haven't really enjoyed his writing. Right. He tries to slip in a lot of jokes at times where characters wouldn't really be joking, and I got really tired of his writing style. But it kind of works. So they bring the X-Men forward through time. They meet up with Cyclops and they're going to set things straight, but then they decide they're going to stay. They make a vote, and the original 5 X-Men are going to stay. And in this issue, we're kind of dealing with repercussions of that, where they've decided they're just going to stay in this timeline until they can fix things, basically. Cyclops is coming to terms with it, being here at this time, and what he's done, and things like that. And he and Wolverine have a confrontation in this issue. It's pretty well written. This is one of the better Marvel Now books. It's a really thoroughly enjoyable read. Avengers Assemble, which was started before Marvel Now, so it's on issue 11 now, but it's now a Marvel Now book.
some of those issues.
Yeah.
I haven't been reading them that much.
Brian Michael Bendis was the writer of that book.
I wasn't enjoying it as much as I have Marvel now.
Yeah, it's well, a new writer took over with Marvel now. Kelly Sue DeConnick and Stefano Caselli took over the art.
Is that the Vision one?
No. Well, I think Vision is going to show up maybe, but he's not in this storyline. The Marvel Now storyline starts up with Banner and Stark kind of having a sort of a scientific rivalry and having a bet as to who could figure out this problem with this guy first. So they assemble little Avengers teams themselves to go after the problem, but then it starts getting dark and there's deaths and stuff, so it becomes not so much fun anymore. Hulk gets infected with this disease, and Spider-Woman has to calm him down. Well, this issue brings it all to a head where they find the main villain. It kind of wrapped up kind of a little too neatly, but it still was a kind of a fun story, and the payoff at the end from the big bet between the two of them is pretty good.
So is that starting a whole new storyline, or is that ending the storyline?
The Thanos storyline was over, and so when Marvel Now picked up, it was a new storyline.
Man, that was a spoiler to me. I had no idea Thanos was in it. I only made it to like issue 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thanos is in those books. Yeah, you knew that. I think in the first issue it announces Thanos is in it.
I know, but I didn't know there was the main villain.
You knew Thanos was in it, though. I didn't say he was the main villain.
Oh.
I said it wrapped up the storyline. Nice try, though. Avenging Spider-Man, issue 16. This is the beginning of the Marvel Now version of Avenging Spider-Man. And this book is Spider-Man teaming up with various Avengers. That's what the whole point of the storyline. Now, yes, this is now the Doc Ock Spider-Man in this book. And he basically is going after the same thing the X-Men are going after in this, Wolverine's X-Men team, which is Beast and Storm and Iceman and Kitty Pryde and Wolverine. Okay, so these characters know Spider-Man, they know he acts, and he doesn't act like Spider-Man. He and Wolverine get in a huge fight. He basically beats up Wolverine, and still he gets away with them not figuring out he's Doc Ock. Wow. I'm going to get tired of this fast. There's another book in this stack where that happens as well, but it's handled better than it is in that one.
It doesn't sound like that good, though.
I want that to be over with. I want the Doc Ock Spider-Man thing over with.
Maybe in an issue soon, Spider-Man will come back, we'll switch bodies, Doc Ock.
Yeah, who cares? I just want it over. You know what I mean? This is the one Blaze read. Captain America #3. This is the Marvel Now book that Blaze likes the most. The art is by John Romita Jr., and the story is by Rick Remender. This storyline of Marvel Now's Cap has him being taken out of our universe without his own choice and being brought in Dimension Z. Which is
Zola.
Yeah, or in Zola's controlled dimension, basically, with all these alien creatures and things like that.
Which is pretty neat.
It's pretty awesome. I think the art's great.
I like it.
And so he gets there, and in the first issue, he crashes in Arnhem's lab and rescues this little baby. And then the second issue picks up a year later, where they've been in this dimension. He's been surviving with this kid for a year. And so he's been gone from our universe for a year.
So I'm thinking, how are they tying this into the actual Avengers
That's
comic?
a good question. I don't know how they're tying this in. I would just say that, I mean, for now we know...
It's a thinking point of different times.
He may come back into our timeline and no time has passed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, maybe a year takes place there, but when he jumps back, it's only been a day. Who knows? We don't know until the storyline ends how they're going to wrap this into continuity. But it's a really fun storyline. And so he and the kid get captured in the last issue, and there's a cliffhanger end at the end.
Right.
We're not going to tell you how that ends up, but then he kind of allies himself with some of these aliens in this issue. Then he has a fight with one of them, and it ends in a big-time cliffhanger in this issue as to what's kind of happening to Steve. I love the flashbacks of the story.
Yeah, I was about to say, I love how they're going back as Steve.
As a kid?
Say, like, this issue was kind of, you know, not my favorite flashback.
This one?
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I don't like about the flashbacks is I don't believe his dad was ever kind of abusive. And his dad's kind of abusive in the storyline.
Yeah, and they said that, was that true that his dad, like, drunk himself to...
I don't think so. I don't think it's... I could be wrong, but I don't remember that ever being in Cap. In the Cap storylines of his dad being like that.
Yeah, like...
I don't like that.
I thought his dad was, like, a good man.
Yeah. I like the little skinny Steve stuff, though. Little kid Steve that gets picked on and he's tiny and all that stuff.
And he's still trying to, like, stand up for
himself. He still stands up for himself. It just shows that, you know, he's never going to give up.
Right.
And that's one of the things I really like about this book is it illustrates that Cap does not give up. So, good book. Really good book. I wanted to say real quick that I also read, I finished off the 3-part Death of Captain America trades. This week I finished them off. And the whole baby storyline with this maybe is spinning out of something that's happening in here. I don't think anything's been confirmed yet, but perhaps, with Arnim Zola having a baby and things. So you might want to read these books if you're into that book. Yeah. These are great reads. The Death of Captain America is awesome.
Read that, would you?
I'll have to double check and make sure it's okay for you. I'm pretty sure you can, but I'll have to double check it.
I think I could handle them.
Alright, let's keep going. I'm losing my voice.
That was great, you said.
Daredevil 22 was quite good. This is written by Mark Waid, and everybody kept talking about how good this book was. Right. This is not a Marvel Now book. When I saw this on the cover, I thought, oh, it's going to be Doc Ock Spider-Man with Daredevil. I got to see how this goes. I got to see how Daredevil reacts.
You said it's not as much as a jerk.
It's not as much. I mean, he kind of sort of plays up some jokiness and things like that, and they have some interactions back and forth. Daredevil still, you know, kind of suspects maybe something's up. But the art on this is by Sandy. I love this art on this book. And it's kind of just Daredevil being Daredevil. Waid really knows how to write a comic book. Yeah. Waid really knows how to write a comic book without making it into this like epic that's got to fit in this piece or something like that. It's just a fun comic.
Right.
I really enjoyed it. I'm probably going to keep picking up Daredevil now.
Are you going to catch up through one?
It's 22, so I probably won't catch up unless I can get trades. And Indestructible Hulk number 3. Again, this is another Mark Waid book, 2 in a row. Linnell Yu does the art. The Indestructible Hulk storyline is Banner has tired of only being kind of known for the Hulk.
And like he's trying to catch up, and he looks at how Stark's doing and stuff.
Yeah, and he thinks he can really add some scientific contributions. So he meets up with S.H.I.E.L.D. and basically makes a deal with S.H.I.E.L.D. that you give me a laboratory and these resources and things like that and let me do my work.
I'll let you have the monster.
I'll let you direct the Hulk at things when you want to direct him at things. So you want a Hulk to destroy a building or go after a nuclear submarine or something, then you send the Hulk, and then you take it and you do the cleanup and all those things, and basically they have an understanding that he gets his lab and he gets to work and things like that.
Well, I think it'd be hard to control the Hulk and tell the Hulk what to do.
You just direct him at something, and that's pretty much it. You put him in the spot where he needs to be, and that's about all you got to do. So the first issue was pretty much just establishing that. The second issue has him and Stark kind of having a rivalry thing where... That
ties into the...
No, it doesn't tie into that. No, it's like kind of a separate thing, but it's a fun read. This issue is him getting some research partners. He's got to have like a research partner team. Finding this big robot thing in this issue, which I'm not going to reveal what that's all about, because it might be a little bit spoilery. And then just kind of continuing that relationship. Again, it's just Waid writing just fun comics.
Yeah. Hey, Dad, when's the next Avenger Plus X-Men coming out?
I don't know. It's late.
I know. Like, I was just thinking about that today. I was like, oh, has Dad been forgetting to get
No, I haven't. It just hasn't come out in a while. New Avengers number 2. This storyline starts off in Marvel Now with Black Panther runs into this woman he sees another world get destroyed that's like ours, and realizes there's like a cosmic thing that's going to go wrong, and decides to realign what was called, I believe, the Illuminati before Marvel Now, which was like the big brains of the Marvel Universe in a secret group that was kind of change the world or control the world or something.
Strange, Stark, Reed Richards.
Yeah, all those. But Black Panther was kind of against that group, I guess. This book is really almost like... You need blowy nose or something?
I know.
Okay. This book is really kind of... You almost have to know some stuff going into it.
Right.
It's one of the only Marvel Now books that I kind of felt like, man, I don't know much about this whole Illuminati thing. I'm really not... I don't know what the whole purpose of them teaming up was and all that stuff. But the issue's fun because, like, Namor shows up, and they had just gone out through this Avengers vs. X-Men thing, so Namor's kind of hated in Wakanda. He shows up, they reveal they all have the Infinity Gems, or at least what's left of the Infinity Gems, and they decide they're going to re-put together the Infinity Gauntlet to take out this whole cosmic imbalance that's happening because their world's going to get destroyed. Pretty good. Pretty good read, but... I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe one too many Avengers books. I don't know if I really needed a new Avengers. Punisher Nightmare, we talked about last week. This guy comes back from the military and his family's been killed.
Right, kind of like Punisher.
Yeah. This issue we really find that he's been a genetic manipulation, and maybe his family wasn't killed by accident. We don't know that for sure. Tex art, again, looks pretty decent. Maybe not as good on this issue as the other couple.
Right.
And it ends with a big cliffhanger with the military guy is super crazy now. I'm just not really digging it that much. But I'm going to finish it off.
We saw some guy, we saw one of the comic book artists, draw one of the pictures. You had him sign your,
Oh, talking about George Perez?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we saw George Perez doing some sketches.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
We saw him draw SpiderMan.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool. At the Cincinnati Comic Expo.
And then a Star Wars character, one Star Wars.
I don't remember.
Some Star Wars character that I had no idea of, and I asked you about it.
No, I don't think it was a Star Wars character. I think it was Jocasta from Avengers.
What?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, he didn't write Star Wars.
No, he didn't do Star Wars. George Perez. No, he was doing Avengers stuff on that.
And DC.
Yeah. Let's finish this up. We got buzz to these last two. Savage Wolverine #1. This is the beginning of the Marvel Now Wolverine book. It's by Frank Cho, written and drawn by Frank Cho, who does amazing artwork. I mean, he's a fantastic artist.
Is he good at writing the book too?
This was a fun book. Basically, what happens is Shane the She-Devil is bringing S.H.I.E.L.D. back to do investigations at the Savage Land, and they go to this mountain that she says, oh, it's supposed to be cursed, and like, oh, do you believe in curses? And oh no, but it turns out that maybe it is cursed.
Right.
And so they run into trouble. 8 months later, Wolverine just gets dropped in the Savage Land. Doesn't know how he ended up there. Doesn't even know where he's at first. And it's basically he goes and helps Shayna, and they're going to try and take out the threat on the island. Really beautiful art. I'm interested to see where the storyline goes. It's a fun Wolverine book. It's good. I like Frank Cho. And the last issue that I picked up this week was the Thor issue 1 movie adaptation. I've just been going back and picking up.
I have the Captain America movie adaptation.
Yes, you do, on your iPod.
Yep.
This is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe tie-ins. They're going back and doing some comic adaptations they didn't do before, like Iron Man 2. Now they're doing Thor. It's basically a 2-issue adaptation.
The art on Captain America is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is. This art's okay. There's nothing new here, though.
Right.
It's just the Thor movie adaptation. And that is it. That's all we picked up this week.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, you know how I collect all my Marvel Universe and stuff? Do you think I'd be able to like do some reviews on my own, like of my Marvel Universe guys?
Sure, yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Yeah, you can definitely do some reviews on it. You don't want me to be there? You don't want me to be there?
Well, no, I thought it'd be neat. No.
I'll try not to be too hurt.
That's not funny, Sean.
Yeah, we'll have to do that sometime, for sure. I don't know how we'll do the pictures, though. I guess I would have to do pictures and you have to do the review. I don't know. We'll figure it out, though. It's a good idea. All right, so keep hitting those comics. We'll be back again next weekend with next week's pickups, and we'll tell you what we think of them. Hopefully you'll have some more books.
Sign off.
From the Spider-Man Amazing Friends. It's tough to explain. You just have to take our word for it.
You have Netflix. Go to Netflix. Find the Captain America episode.
Which one is that one? Is it the one... What's the episode called, though? I don't remember what the episode's called. But there's a scene where a bad guy is kind of looking at them, and they come in, and he's standing there, and Spider-Man shoots a web, and he just stands there, and he gets webbed up against the wall, and he sits there for a second, and then he goes, ah! It's pretty funny. We laughed at it a lot. All right, so we're signing off. We'll see you guys next week.